Hey guys, welcome to the Investor's Guide of Memphis Real Estate. I'm your host, Dean Harris, and as always, I'm with Douglas Skipworth. How are you?
Hey man, doing great.
We're bringing you this podcast to give you guys the boots on the ground knowledge to be a successful real estate investor here in Memphis, Tennessee. Please like and subscribe to the Investor's Guide of Memphis Real Estate on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you want to catch your podcast. Show sponsors are listed at the bottom of the screen here. We've got CoreLend is our hard money lender, yep. CrestCore Property Management, Triumph Construction is our GC, Will Griffin, Cliff, Everton Mashmeyer, and Local Title. Those are all our show sponsors, so we appreciate you guys. We're going to start reeling those off for those on Spotify that just listen to us.
Yeah. Use them if you do.
Zoom calls, I'm going to bring those back in February. Good. Shoot me an email, dean@crestcore.com, to be added to that. And I help buyers and sellers every day. So if you're interested in selling, buying anything in the Memphis area, dean@crestcore.com. We've got another deal of the week.
Oh,
excited about that. Yeah, 2 weeks in a row for deal of the week.
Yep.
3230 Maple Hill, 38118. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,310 square foot home. It's occupied currently at $1,130. Market rent over there is about $1,250 or $300. So
1,300. Yeah,
it's a little light. Seller's asking $129,900. I don't know the condition on occupied homes because we don't disturb the tenants. But one thing I always tell my investors is if it's occupied, there can't be anything major wrong with it. Your tenant, would know about it. Wear and tear, I'm sure we'll find. But 3230 Maple Hill, 38118, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,350 square feet, $129,900. This one is occupied at $1,130. So dean@crestcore.com if you have any questions on that. Today's topic, man, is huge. It's a big part of our business. We're going to talk about wholesalers. How to work with wholesalers, how to understand what they're doing, what that is. A lot of times, half of my clients are not willing and don't want to work with wholesalers. And what I am telling you right now, I am not going to coach you to go directly to the wholesaler.
Nope.
I'm going to coach you to come through me. But what I am going to coach you to do and talk about doing is what's the process that I use. What am I doing when I talk with these guys? How am I sorting through a lot of this information? So the first note here is understand what they do. Just what is a wholesaler, And kind of in a nutshell, it is an individual who has gone out and marketed themselves to property owners of properties that could be in distress, in a foreclosure, in a trust, in a like a will, probate. They are marketing, they're calling on those people and they're giving them quick offers to get it under contract. And what they do, 99% of the wholesalers don't have any intention to ever close and buy the property themselves. What their intent is to do is to write up that contract and then go assign the rights to this contract for a fee to the end buyer. So, quick example, Douglas, you have a home, you own a property. I'm a wholesaler. I come to you, I buy it I get contracted for $50,000.
You give me $50,000, I'm happy.
You're happy. That's all you're looking for,
That's
right?
I'm motivated and I got to get this.
You got to get out of here for whatever. I
don't want to put it on the MLS and have showings and I got to get it fixed up and contracts back and forth. Man, just give me an offer and get it sold. Please.
I'm going to write this contract up for $50,000. We're both going to agree on it. I'm going to give myself 30 days to close on the property. And as far as you and I know, we're under contract. I'm going to close on this house.
Perfect.
And you're going to get your $50,000.
Hallelujah.
You're in a good mood.
Yep.
Now, as a wholesaler, I'm going to take this contract and I'm going to go out and market it similar to what an agent might do, similar to what any property seller might do. They're going to go mark this thing up to, let's say, $75,000. And they're going to go try to sell the terms in this paper for $25,000. So I'm going to go to Alec, our producer here, and I'm going to say, Alec, you're going to come and you're going to buy this property from us. It's a great home. It needs some work. We're going to sell it to you for $77,000. And then Alec's going to go close on this property. And at the time of closing, he's going to pay the $77,000. The seller's going to get their $50,000. I'm going to get my $27,000. And the buyer's going to be, Alec's going to have his property for $77,000. He's going to put some repairs in it and fix it, and he's going to go.
Alec's happy.
He's happy. Wholesaler's happy.
I'm happy.
You're happy.
I got my $50,000 quick.
Everybody got their money.
To do anything.
and everybody got their house. Now, this only works in a certain few ways. Everyone's got to be happy. The end buyer, Alec, in this way, has got to be satisfied with $77,000. It has to work. Meaning, if it's needs $20,000 worth of work in it, so now he's in it for basically $100. It's got to be worth 130 or 40 or 50 grand for it to work for his banking, right? So if it doesn't, there's where the negotiation parts come in. Is the wholesaler willing to take less than $27,000 in just about every single case? They are.
Yes.
Is the seller ever willing to negotiate with them? Maybe sometimes. They're usually a little bit more firm.
That's right.
Wholesalers with their $27,000 there. Now, here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to say that this wholesaler's job is easy, right?
Shoot,
I'm not here to tell you that they don't earn that money. They certainly do. Will you, as the end buyer, look at that one day and say, whoa, that's a lot of money I'm paying? You might, but remember the mindset that I just asked Alec to be in, right?
Yeah.
It's a good deal for him. It makes sense in the grand scheme of things from his banking, for the burr, for all the strategies. Yeah. The wholesaler gets in and makes a good little bit. Now, the question is like, well, why don't you negotiate the 27? Well, if the wholesaler's smart, you don't ever know that until the day of closing, right? They're not bound by a fiduciary responsibility of their clients. They have no code of ethics. They have no governing body, right? Yeah. I'm not here to say that they're all crooks, but what I am here to say is that it's easy for someone like that to pull off a stunt or something that is not above board when there's no governing body. Yeah. This is the reason why I tell you not to go directly to them first. Yeah. Come through me. I have relationships with just about anybody and everybody that's wholesaling in this city. If you're moving product and you're moving houses, I've heard of you or your company, and we're working together, and I know those business practices. Yeah. Okay. I think I was long-winded on that, but I wanted to give that description and make sure that they understood exactly what wholesaling is. Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah. If you want, simply it's like, if you want access to the best deals, you need to work with wholesalers, because they're the ones who work hard to find properties so you can get a discount.
That's exactly right. So don't get caught up in that guy or gal's numbers, No. Because there's some deals I know that they push for nothing or $1,000, right?
That's right. It depends. I mean, if you zoom way out, they're just flippers. Yeah. They're just in essence buying and selling a property. Yeah. They're just not holding it for very long. No. If at all.
And there's been legislation, there's been things come up to try to, rule out a wholesaler. The Tennessee Association of Realtors has gotten a little involved. The National Association of Realtors has really got involved. That, are these guys performing real estate activities? Yeah. I'm not here. I'll tell you this. I don't care.
That's right.
Bring me deals. I need them. Yeah. I need my buyers need them. We'll pay we don't care if you're acting like an agent or not. It's not my business to determine that. I'm here to represent my end buyer and client and to get them the best deal possible. And if it's going through a wholesaler to get the best deal possible, then that's what we're going to do. Right.
Yeah. That's a great point. And I think the wholesalers need to be careful how they market the property. They don't own the property. Yeah. They own the contract.
That's right.
Or the rights to the contract. That's what they're selling. So they need to be careful on that. If there are any wholesalers watching, providing a great service, we can help you. Send us deals.
Yes. And is this legal was one of my questions. Yeah. It is. Yeah. I don't believe
it's legal to assign contracts and sell those contracts.
That's right. They got to be very careful how they do it. But is the process of wholesaling property, if you do it the right way, legal? It sure is. Yeah. So if anyone tells you,
that's a legal contract that you can assign and sell.
That's right.
That's not a big deal.
The assignment fees can be large or small. I want to prep you for that. I have signed, I think the largest one I've signed was $39,000.
You personally paid
a wholesaler $30
for a property you bought. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well done.
Yeah. I mean, it was
were you happy? Yeah.
I'm thrilled with it. It's one of my better performing properties. It needed some work, but it's in an area. It's a $1,600 rental. Yeah. I think I had it for 60 or something, 58, if I remember. Paid him almost, I'm in it for 100. It needed 15 or 20. I mean, like, it's a fantastic property.
Yeah, yeah.
Was I a little shocked to look at 49 grand the day of closing? A little bit, but you know what? I gave the guy a high five. I swear to you, I know this sounds silly, but I knew him and I literally met him. I was like, congratulations. I did. and did that sting a little bit for me. I was like, man, I could have, should have, would have, whatever. I got the right property and it made sense for me. And he did a great job of marketing it and had made a great fee. So I have, I'm not talking out of both sides of my mouth here. I've paid some.
No. Oh, it's so funny because when I got your notes, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back and look because I immediately when I think of a wholesaler, I bought lots of wholesale deals, many different ways, but one I remember. So I went back and I found the HUD from July 2012.
Oh, okay. I'm dying to hear this.
I owned some properties, on either side of the property. So this property came for sale. And this was 12 years ago, but it was worth $40,000 at the time. Okay. So
in 2012.
And I had an opportunity to buy it my all-in was $31,400. So a little discount, 75% of the value. So felt good about that. The purchase price was $13,000 because there was an assignment fee to watch this. The first wholesaler for $7,000.
Oh no.
Then the second wholesaler,
otherwise known as JV,
or they wholesaled. Somebody bought it from a wholesaler. They were buying the contract, and then I bought the contract from them, and so they assigned it again.
So you had a seller that sold the property to one wholesaler and got under contract. You had another wholesaler come to this one and get the property under contract. And then here you came along here and you bought it from this second wholesaler 3 phases away from the seller.
So I ended up paying about 3 times what the seller was selling for, kind of to your point.
Yeah.
Seller was super happy because they were getting out of situation.
They got 13 grand. They didn't want the house.
They didn't want the house. First wholesaler super happy. Second wholesaler super happy. I'm getting a discount on a house that I own beside both of those. So I'm like, I couldn't be happy. I look up 10 years later. I look it up on Zillow. Zillow whatever. It says it's $140,000. So I didn't care about double paying 2 assignment fees. Like you didn't care about the 39.
Couldn't have cared less.
Whereas I had people coming to me, one person in particular they could not get their arms around that. They thought that was the dumbest thing they'd ever seen because they're like, you could have had that for 13. No, I couldn't. I couldn't have that for 13 because I couldn't go out and do what the wholesalers did. I could only get it for 31, which was a great deal then, and it's an even better deal today.
That's a looking back mentality. That's something we don't do here, and you and I we're not entertaining the rear view mirror.
No,
you need to understand what you bought. Look at what you.
This is what happens 10 years later when you buy a wholesale deal that you're happy about, even if you have to pay a bigger fee.
The only last thing I'll talk about is to use the vendors that you're comfortable with in this process, and what I mean by that specifically is a title company. Go to a title company here, local title, Will Griffin, Cliff Everton, Mashmeyer. Comfortable with closing wholesale deals, worked with wholesalers all the time. That would be the biggest. Because if you take it to a title company where they do residential deals, and that's mainly it, this is another language.
They do not.
It is. That is wild. A quick side note before we end this. That is wild. Take a wholesale deal to a title company that only does residential deals. Their whole business falls apart. I mean, there could be 25 very brilliant people in there. And if you hand them a wholesale deal and you set it down on the table, it is hell's bells.
Yes.
And they don't have any idea what's going on. So you use a title company that is familiar with a wholesale deal, working with wholesalers. We have several here in town, several good ones.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before. And that's what that if you don't know this about Memphis has got, I mean, it's kind of like the Hollywood of rental property, right? Because we've got this ecosystem set up where people know how to deal with. There are a ton of wholesalers here. There are a ton of title companies and lenders that know how to work with assignments. So and agents too. So it's like it's just a great place to do wholesale and JV and find opportunities from wholesalers.
Last thing I'll say to wrap it up is use me to do this.
Yeah.
I've worked with these guys for 10 plus years. I definitely know who is above board and who isn't. And if they're not, that doesn't mean we won't get the house. I just know that there's different procedures I need to take with that individual and their business. So this is something I'm very accustomed to. I don't know exactly how many. It's over 20 deals. I bought 25 or 30 deals from wholesalers.
You personally?
Yes.
I mean, you've repped buyers and sellers.
Every month for years, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of wholesale deals with wholesalers. I just mean personally gone through it.
Same.
35, 40 times probably. So, I mean, it's just something you would want to do. Yes. It's a part of your business. So any questions, Dean at CrestCore.com. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Douglas. We'll see you next time. Bye.